Second, we're starting.
Okay.
All right, we're live. Hello, welcome to Christian Hangout number 27. So far, returning with us, we have Sam Heidelberg, aka Moses, I guess. We also have William Scott, aka Teleologic Folkways. And the first time joining us, we have Bridget WADDLES. You can probably know her from Twitter.
Hey.
Welcome, Bridget. So, as we normally do, we'd like you to introduce yourself to our viewers and tell us what your background is with Christianity.
Okay. I'm Bridget. I grew up Baptist for most of my childhood. My parents were fairly devout. We were always there Sundays and Wednesdays and Sunday nights and all that. It was a big part. We moved a lot, so church is a big part of our community. Wherever we moved, there was always a Christian church there. So that then I moved. Then I graduated high school, and kind of floated around a bit, trying to find what was right for me. My parents was shortly after I moved out. Not like a couple years after, my parents separated, and that was a big kind of moment of what does all this mean and all that. So when my husband, when we got married, he was Catholic, and was kind of going on his own journey for that. So so we tried the kind of middle ground between the two of us, because I wanted to go back to church. So we tried Episcopalian, and that didn't. That wasn't for us. We shortly learned about that it wasn't for us much. And then so we so after that, my husband had known Eastern Orthodox friends growing up, so we went to the Eastern Orthodox church after a while, and I really liked it a lot more than I thought I would. The whole how seriously everything is taken, and the how much it's not just showing up at church. It's very much it's a part of your life, whether you're at church or at home. And I don't mean in the whole, if it's more ceremonial, I guess, with the fasting and the prayers and reading from the prayer book and all that. So we were baptized there, baptized in the Orthodox Church, and we haven't been. Unfortunately, our car has been broken for the last few months, and our
Wow.
church that we've been going to is like 45 minutes away, and so we haven't been able to go to church as much as we'd like, because of the lack of transportation. But we're getting our car fixed this week, so we're hopefully going to head back there soon once we get the car all set up. So anyway, that's kind of the hope that wasn't too terribly long, but
it's fun.
Yeah.
It's interesting to hear, because I always wonder, I was wondering, I know you had said once that you were Orthodox in I guess maybe it was in one of the podcasts you did or something, and I was wondering, I don't know, I never knew much about Orthodox Christianity until recently, so it's interesting to hear from people who are Orthodox, and I wonder, were they always Orthodox? Is this a conversion thing, or
no.
So I guess.
Yeah, no, it was a conversion thing for us. It was kind of a running away, running away from the modern church. It's in terms of the kind of how difficult. I sympathize with Protestants a lot in terms of it's hard to find a church that isn't vapid and anti-white, for lack,
Yeah.
So Orthodoxy was kind of, I wasn't ready for Catholicism, because I think Francis had just came in and everybody was kind of looking at like, I don't think so. So luckily, like I said, my husband had known Eastern Orthodox growing up, and he had several friends who were Eastern Orthodox. So he was the one that suggested, why don't we go to the Eastern Orthodox church? And I liked it a lot more than I thought I would. So,
cool.
So yeah.
Well, nice. I noticed we also have Arthur Wellesley from the Godcast with us. Hello, Arthur.
Hello. Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, it's good to have you. Also, since this is your first time joining us, would you like to introduce yourself to the listeners and tell us what your background is with Christianity?
Absolutely. From the Godcast, talking about my faith. I was when I was a lot younger, and I grew up through the Catholic Church. Wandered and meandered a little bit away during my teenage years, as is most Catholics. But I'd probably say after my 18th or 19th birthday, I took my faith a lot more seriously than I did in those teenage years, and started looking at it, and not just thinking that it's all happy clappy nonsense. And I know there's a lot more to it than just that. So it's a little bit different because obviously there's not that many Catholic churches in comparison to the Anglican in England, and it's always kind of funny. From when I was younger, we've never had in the particular church that I went to as a kid and where I was born. The priests were never white; they were always Africans, and the interesting thing as well, and it was before any sort of racial consciousness came in, is that my mother and I always used to joke that, we've stopped sending missionaries over there, so now they're sending them back over here.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I remember hearing that like a lot of the Africans who the missionaries went to are now more traditionalist than the people in the original countries they came from. So
yes,
it is kind of more true than you think.
No, yeah, I mean, all jokes aside, the first priest who was from Nigeria, he was a very nice guy, very well. He had a troubled youth. He ended up in some of the civil wars, and he said he found faith when I think it was Boko Haram, or one of the early Islamist militias in Nigeria, were not kicking down doors and killing people in his village, but they skipped him for whatever reason. And that sermon stuck with me for quite a while. But
wow.
I mean, after that, yeah, no, it was incredible. After I took a little bit of a break, I would go back every now and again, not just Christmas or Easter, just to accompany my mother. And they had a new priest, and his English wasn't as great as the previous fathers, so it was very difficult to connect with him, and and not just obviously because I couldn't understand him, but it was just no interest there. And I have to say, I'm not blaming it on those priests. That I just thought my lack of interest in faith and me drifting away from God and the church was just, I'm growing out of it. I'm growing, tipping my fedora. I'm growing out of this phase and becoming more enlightened. But looking back, it was just because there was no connection to the particular church that I was in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's definitely important. I mean, it's a good argument for churches being led by people who have something in common with the people who they're presiding over, or like the leaders.
Absolutely.
I've often wondered, I mean, I know we've had some UK people on here before, but like in Europe, is it harder to be a Christian? Because I mean, from the American perspective, I feel like whenever we look at Europe, we look at that as like, oh, that's where they've all lost faith and they're all very secular. And like, I've even heard, I remember reading a message board once where they were talking about Christianity in Sweden, and they're saying like people who are actually religious in Sweden are looked at as kind of weird. So like, I mean, that's just kind of like the view of Europe. A lot of, like, at least I have as an American, like, so is it hard to be a Christian in Europe?
I'd say so. Growing up in and going through what you guys would call high school, obviously you get teased mercilessly because you didn't want to have sex, so you'd just be a virgin, right? And that's just I mean, you could give school kids anything to tease about, and they'll mercilessly tease you about your eyebrows or your earlobes, or just the most asinine things. But yeah, I was, and obviously that was a choice that I made back then, and yeah, that was I can tell you, growing up and having that as a sticking point and people making fun of you, it's not an easy thing, that's for sure. But that's all I can say. That's all I can bring to the table in terms of my personal experience. That was the only time that I faced any sort of resistance or criticism for my faith.
Yeah. Well, I think even in America, there's some of that to an extent that people will pick on kids for being religious and trying to adhere to the right morals.
Oh, it's true, especially in California, like especially like in downtown Los Angeles. You know, it's probably more true in North California.
I was going to say, if you're from California, you're either a degenerate or Hispanic, so pick your poison.
Or
well, I'm not Hispanic, so I guess that narrows it down.
I didn't realize you were from California. I wasn't implying.
Yeah.
I wasn't implying that you're degenerate or Hispanic. I do apologize. I was talking about the state in very sweeping terms.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Actually, most people who grew up in the modern era are pretty degenerate, you know.
I have family members in California, and it's I've been to their church, and most of the parishioners are older. It's a kind of a rural, so but it's fairly large. But last few years, a lot of the teenagers that used to be there have moved away, and so it's older now. You know, a bunch of baby boomers and stuff. So, and you know, and I don't blame. I hate California. I just hate the environment.
Yeah, I hate it.
So I don't blame. I don't blame people who leave, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm planning to leave myself. You know, the taxes and the cost of living here is just ridiculous.
Yeah, I left 32 years ago, so.
Well, yeah.
You know,
but you may have left for someplace worse than California.
Well,
Canada.
At the time, no.
Don't be started on Canada, please.
It was yeah.
I'm currently living in Canada at the moment.
Oh, are you?
Oh,
yeah.
I won't say where, but it's.
Yeah, I was wondering about that on the Godcast. I thought I heard you say something about Canada. I'm like, wait, I assumed you was in the UK somewhere.
Yes, I'm currently living in Canada for my studies. But no, it's an interesting time. That's for sure. It's difficult to even. I don't know where to start. There's so many things. I just big cities. I just stay away from now. It's obviously I'm not scared of them or anything. I'm terrified to go in, but unless there's something I actually want to go in there for or visit a friend or something, I just don't want to go into any of these metropolitan areas. They're just cesspools.
Yeah.
But don't you need to go into big cities for work?
Just I'm still a student at the moment, so.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
To commute into any of these big cities, and
you watch.
So.
If you ever watch Argent's channel, he talks about how much of pain using public transportation in Toronto is.
Yeah.
I can only begin to imagine. I have to bus to work. I work part-time, but I take a bus out, and so I can't read just on the bus for whatever reason, and it means that I have to, occupy myself otherwise. But you tend to notice the types of people that ride buses. And it's not a fun hour. Let me tell you that much.
Yeah.
Richard Spencer had his epiphany on a bus in Toronto.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't realize
that doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah. He happened to be living there, and early 2000s.
Yeah, I remember Richard Spencer telling a story about when he was in, I guess, the University of Virginia. There were these two bus stops that were right nearby each other, but like one was like the black people's bus stop, one was the white people's bus stop, and everyone always just kind of stuck to their own bus stop, and it was like, but they were like right next to each other, I guess. It was always divided by race. For some reason, I always remember that story. You know, it's funny.
I mean, people tend to self-segregate, so it only makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, Bridget, it was funny that you said that a lot of the churches in a lot of Protestant churches are kind of cucky, because I was just telling William the other day about how I attended an evangelical service for a couple of weeks ago, and it was just really like I really didn't like it, because the guy was talking about he was showing verses like, it says that in heaven every race and every nation will be there. It's like, but the great thing is we don't have to wait to get to heaven for that and stuff like that. So we already have it here on earth. It's like, oh gosh, I was like, please no. Yeah.
I'll always remember when we attended a Episcopalian church, when we were kind of shopping around, what kind of really drove a stake through it was when the pastor says, you know, if you want to imagine God as a woman, you're totally okay to do that. And it was like, someplace else, please. So.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, God's role is not. I mean, I remember when I was in college, we talked about why God is masculine, and it's like they say it's really because his role is a masculine one. It's to be like a father, to be a guide, like, so yeah, it's not there to be like nurturing and all that necessarily.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You can unmute yourself if you have something to say, Sam. Did you have something to say?
No, it's fine.
Yeah, I guess William muted you because
it does happen.
The fan is still making a noise. What was that?
Oh, it's my phone.
Okay. Yeah, I guess just good to, if you're not talking, Sam, you can mute yourself, because that fan noise is like, that little chirping fan noise is very noticeable.
Sure, I'll turn it off right now.
Okay, but you can chime in whenever you want to say something. That's fine.
Okay.
Anyway,
so I don't know how much I missed at the beginning, so I'm sorry for being late. But
no, it's fine. And you just missed Bridget introducing herself, but we didn't have any real conversation going before that.
No, I was just going to ask if anyone is giving up anything for Lent at all.
Mm.
If you guys do that, or if it's just a Catholic thing.
Well, so we give up meat and dairy and eggs and all that. We essentially go vegan for 40 days. Now, I'm pregnant, so I am allowed to have a little bit. I have some in the morning, but you know, the rest of us try to cut, but it's really difficult to cook, especially when you don't have a car and you have to like shop at 20 million places rather than, you know, find the one place that has everything. So,
no, absolutely.
So yeah,
that's real dedication there. That's wow. That's and do you just go vegan just for Lent, or are there other times where you'll engage in this?
We have four great fasts. We have the Lent, and sorry, I have a cold, so apologize for if I sound weird. I have Lent. We have Apostles Fast, which is relatively short. That's usually like, you know, 2 to 3 weeks, I think. And then we have the Holy Dormition Fast, which is for Mary, the Mother Jesus, and relatively short one. And then we have the Nativity Fast, which is in December, or starts in November usually. So Thanksgiving we usually have salmon rather than turkey. And then that ends at Christmas, and then we have Lent. So those are the 4 great fasts. And then you also fast on Fridays, and it varies, you know, whether it's a strict fast where you're essentially vegan, or you can have fish, or, you know, you're allowed, you know, yeah. So,
Well, actually, I was looking into that because growing up, my mother never used to eat any meat on a Friday, and
Mhm.
being the picky little child that I was, I didn't like fish, so I would have like chicken or something else, but not beef. I was trying to look into the backgrounds of where this came from, and the only thing that I found kind of started this tradition in the Catholic sense was that during, I think it was Aquinas in the he basically said, you know, you've got to fast on a Friday, give up like basically anything not fish, and the logic that people were trying to say there is because the fish were cheaper, and obviously beef and other sorts of land animals were much more expensive than fish. And I just wondered if you had any sort of other knowledge or any idea how it started.
Yeah, I'm sure I learned about this when I first was converting. We had, you know, the big training, you know, whatever. But I think there is some reference in the Bible about fasting, and it's just kind of grown from tradition. Another thing is, other days you can't have oil on your. Some days we're not allowed to have oil on your food, so it's essentially salad and bread, maybe some pasta. But it's hard. It's very hard during Lent because you're not allowed. They don't allow fish. At least during the nativity fast, you're allowed fish a lot more often. But during Lent, you're, you know, like I said, essentially vegan, no fish, and then your days there that you don't eat any. You don't have any oil, so you can't like fry up your vegetables or anything. So wine and oil. That's no wine and oil days. Those are that's what they're
Fair
called.
enough.
So,
Fair enough.
like I said,
remember
I'm
hearing
pregnant,
that.
so I get to cheat a little bit, because otherwise I get insane. So, but that was something that was kind of agreed with my priest.
I think
I
the
got
Catholic Church a lot more liberal nowadays as well, and I think as long as you're over the age of 14 and under the age of 60, or maybe just a little bit older, you can partake in the fasting. But if that's not the case, then you have to you can have some food basically. I think that stems from when back in the 50s and 60s, you'd have to fast before taking the host, the body of Christ, and you'd have these little old ladies coming to 11 o'clock mass and fainting because they hadn't had any breakfast.
Well, in the
Yeah.
Orthodox Church, that's still common that you don't eat on the day of, you don't eat on Sunday morning if you're going to
That's
communion.
right. That's right. If you're going to take the communion, you're encouraged not to have anything until all morning.
Same with the
Essentially.
Catholics. They just seem to relax the rules a little bit, but who knows where it's going to lead.
Yeah.
Maybe they won't encourage it anymore.
But we have I don't know if it's the same in Catholic Church, but at least in Orthodox Church, we kind of after service we have a big essentially potluck. Everyone brings food and stuff, so it's you get to eat relatively soon after you've had the communion, and you don't have to wait till you get home in order to have made yourself something. You can just, okay, we've had communion, we're done with service, let's go downstairs and have, you know, whatever is available, you know, whatever. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. I remember hearing that in the earlier days of the Orthodox Church, usually the only thing you would eat during the fast season was like at 6 p.m. you'd have some nuts or something like that, and some vegetables maybe, or like you just eat a little bit at the end of the day and that was it.
I mean, during fasting times or just like before communion?
Well, like for fasting times.
Don't know. I've never heard that before. Like I said, yeah, I haven't heard that before. But some people like they eat shellfish during while you're fasting, and that's kind of a meat substitute. So clams, shrimp, scallops, and that kind of thing. So if you really need a meat, some people do that, and they're not. It's not considered fish. So I know my the priest that baptized us, his family used to have cans and cans of clams, and I never understood what they did with them, but that's one thing that's available for people. So.
Interesting. Yeah, sorry, I was just replying to the text chat over there. Somebody said that what I mentioned was called the Black Fast. So, I guess. I didn't know there was a name for it. But
yeah. Well, you know more than I do, because
I probably don't.
Well, I mean, the
No,
person. I hadn't heard, like I said, I hadn't heard that before. So.
Yeah. Speaking of Lent, I know, William, you've got a good series on your blog about Lent, don't you? About the Beatitudes.
Yeah, I'm rewriting the one that I did last year, and then also writing 8 kind of short fiction, fantasy fiction pieces. I've written the second one almost for each of the Beatitudes. So
yeah,
It's neat.
Yeah, I enjoyed them last year. Have you started? You said you're editing them a bit. You're changing them a little, or?
Yeah, I just realized. I mean, that was early in my blog, and I had even on those, I've had very few readers, just kind of in the 20s.
Really?
I tend to get low readership on overtly Christian stuff that I write.
Yeah.
So if I write political stuff, I'll get a lot more readers. Or even philosophical or sociological stuff. But yeah, I just reading through, I'm realizing, my standards were kind of low. So
I like your blog. I just sometimes think maybe you need to proofread a little bit, but that's just my only real thing with it.
If you read early, you will. I almost always do an edit the next day when I realize.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm often posting at 3 a.m. Oh yeah, I think that's fine, and then I look at it in the morning and go, oh man, this is terrible.
Oh
so,
yeah.
Yeah. So if you
I
read
mean, I subscribe to a lot, but I usually get them right when they get published. So if I happen to be reading it at that time, I usually see it early, I guess.
Yeah, I try to. Yeah, and I really should be more careful. I just anyway, I don't know. I get a little careless.
It's funny how when you write something and then you read it over and over and over, looking for mistakes and everything, and then you finally print it or you publish it, and you're like, oh, there's something there, 2 seconds after you've done it. So it's always frustrating for me.
What's funny is sometimes it's hard to proofread your own work because you're used to thinking and it's I wrote it, so I know what my thoughts are. So it's when I read it, I'm kind of just reading my own thought process there. So it's you kind of miss the mistakes because in your mind you knew what it's supposed to say.
Yeah, I've had that same experience too, proofreading my own papers.
Well, my hubby reads everything if I ever have to publish anything, I said, here, please look at it, because he's like a grammar Nazi. So
do you publish things? You do writing anywhere?
Mostly it was for it's mainly for with school stuff and that kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
I was in school, or if I'm working on smaller projects for myself, or whatever, I have him look at it. So nothing is published. So.
Okay. Do you have any activities besides Twitter, Bridget? Give blogs or anything like that, or?
No, we did have the waifu for a while, and then
I remember that.
Yeah, and then a lot of our hosts dropped off, and then I got pregnant, and I was essentially sick for 2 months. So priority and right now, so I'm at almost the halfway point now. So I might start up again, but my husband's still doing work and school and stuff. So I, and I was doing most of the editing, and editing podcasts sucks.
Oh, yeah.
So it was just
Preach.
really time consuming and time consuming and stuff. So it up again, to be honest.
When was the last time you did one of the wife view?
I want to say August. And then we
Okay.
tried recording, and then we did recording in like October, and then we did some recording, and then for some reason, I don't know what happened. I think there's all kinds of stuff going on. So it was just me and one other person, if I remember correctly. I think that was part of it. It's not, girls are like that. We, 2 people is fine, and you can do 2 people, but it's more fun when there's at least 3. So, it just, yeah. Anyway, that's me making excuses. Basically, I don't have as much time anymore, and other things have been coming up. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I was just wondering because I remember I would listen to it all the time because I guess you would post them on Vimeo, right?
Was it Vimeo? I think we did
Was it?
SoundCloud. Yeah.
Okay.
As part of
I remember I used to only know that new episodes were posted because there'd be a YouTube channel that would just say, "Hey, check out the latest episode on Vimeo."
Yeah, because
that was the only way I ever heard them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's what that we did have like a little, hey, come over here on YouTube, because we tried doing it on YouTube and they took it down. So, excuse my language. So, yeah. But yeah, so go ahead.
So this was you and your husband doing a video on YouTube that they took down.
No, no, this was, no, we tried uploading our episodes on waifu episodes on YouTube, and we got reported, and then they took us down. So.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Wow.
What were you saying to get reported?
Probably one of our hosts, I think, used the N-word in a kind of joking manner. And
that would do it.
I think I don't remember. It was, I think that was back last spring. So, but we kept getting reported and taken down. I don't know who. Someone was following us around, and we're like, we don't. Our listenership was maybe 700 people, maybe, and so I was like, I don't know why who kept following us around, but somebody did, and so we never got taken down.
Yeah. Whoever it was probably, the guy's probably a big loser.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't stand these people. Like, do these people have no life? Because they just follow around underground right-wing people on the internet and try to get them shut down. Like, what type of life do they have?
They have nothing. They have nothing but their virtue signaling.
Because they're too cowardly to go do direct action.
Oh, it's not just that. It's like me going into some scene on the internet, like some music scene that's like a subgenre that I do not listen to, and I try to harass like their singers and their musicians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, fair enough. I understand that. I just thought more of they wanted to make a difference, and this is how they're doing it. They think they're doing something, changing things for the better when that's just not the case.
Yeah, it's retarded because, like, I mean, if you know who Richard Spencer is, and if you're not a fan of him, then you have no life, pretty much. I mean, is that fair to say?
Well, I mean, I think there are some people in the alt-right who aren't fans of Richard Spencer necessarily, but they agree with some of his views.
No, what I mean is, like, you're not alt-right yourself, but you know who Richard Spencer is.
Yeah, So you can just
Yeah,
talk about
yeah.
how terrible this Nazi is or something.
yeah. I mean, at that point, you're pretty much a loser, you know.
Yeah. Did you see when they mentioned Richard Spencer on Saturday Night Live, that clip where they're doing the weekend update? This guy's like white nationalist Richard Spencer got punched, and it's like, oh man, I just can't stop crying, and like this
Yeah.
this is terrible.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
the acting was terrible.
Someone made a point or a joke or something about how when Richard Spencer got punched, they used the same clip over and over for the same thing, and they just, whenever they wanted to, try to get on somebody's skin, they just post the clip. And then when Bass Stick Man came out, we had like a bajillion different ways of putting the same picture, and making it slightly different every time. So we're more creative.
Yeah.
He didn't get charged, eh? Basic man.
I think they're saying he might still get. He's free for now, but he might be charged in the future, is what I heard. But
Yeah.
Maybe there's more news lately that I haven't heard. But
So far, from what I understand, it's they haven't brought charges as of yet, but they could change their mind. I don't think they will, because they've got better things to do. But I could be wrong. It depends on what kind of message they want to try to send, or in how much the Antifas bother them about it.
Well, I mean, there's news about what's going on with the Antifa who tried to attack people at Deplorable, how they're basically getting off of these light punishments. So, I don't know.
Well, they fling feces as well.
I don't know about that, but I know that they cause a lot of mayhem.
Was one of them turd flinging?
If it wasn't the meetings with Spencer.
Sorry, what was that, Arthur?
I was just saying, if it wasn't the Deplorables, I think it was one of the meetings that Richard Spencer held. I'm pretty sure some sort of human excrement was thrown around.
Well, I do remember Matt Heimbach, back when he was in college, he participated in some like, they're trying to shut down these like communists who were marching, or they tried to counter protest them or something, and somebody threw like a bottle of urine at him or something like that, or like some sort of container full of urine at him. And
yeah.
So they do that stuff. These people are
vile.
I remember
That's so
in an interview, I know. I remember, I think in an interview, he said that the local cops were actually thanking him for standing up. These people are like, yeah, we hate these people. They come through every year and do this crap, and we don't like them either. So they actually respected them for trying to stop them.
Yeah. Most of the cops are pretty right-wing, believe it or not. I mean, most of them actually are on our side. Even in liberal cities, this is true.
Yep. That's why the military loves Trump so much.
Yeah.
Did you hear the latest Daily Show where they were talking about cops? They say that they're not completely sure how cops feel, because cops tend to be sort of an insular group, and they don't know a lot of cops among their listenership or readership. So I
was just about to bring that up. Yeah.
They're like, if there are any cops out there who'd like to talk to us about what it's like out there, like, feel free to get in touch.
Yeah.
Be very interesting.
The other weird thing about cops is that, like, they sometimes enforce stupid laws that actually get in people's ways more than it helps protect them, especially like stupid traffic laws. So I kind of have mixed feelings about cops, I mean.
Well, yeah, I mean, cops can kind of pick and choose what they enforce in some cases. So if they want to stick it to you, they can do that.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, it's like most of like the highway patrol, especially the highway patrol here in, I think the highway patrol in pretty much every state, I mean, isn't it every man's dream to drive down the freeway speed at 150 miles per hour? But there's an entire police department devoted to like killing that dream of every single man.
Well, you'd have to go to Germany.
Islanders. Oh, yeah, but I mean, Germany has other problems.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But you can go as fast as you want on the roads there. The Autobahn system.
I think Ryan
Yeah.
Landry
It's slow to miss all the migrants.
I'm sorry, what?
Oh, I think Ryan
I
Landry
jokingly
said. Oh, sorry. Which one?
Well, okay.
No, after you.
William,
After
you
you.
go first.
No, after you.
Something about Ryan Landry.
Oh, just that on the thing on Why America. He said a cop on there, a woman talking.
Oh, that's
about
right. He did. I
Couple-
remember that.
a couple of times. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, you, Arthur.
yeah.
Say that you can drive as fast as you want as long as you swerve to avoid the migrants.
Mhm.
Touche.
I wonder how the migrants deal with the driving there.
Is that in California or in California?
Germany.
No,
you
in
can't drive as fast
Germany.
as you want.
No, you can't. You can't drive as fast as you want in California.
But
Like they
I
even
was trying to think of
stop
some
you
sort
in the
of-
middle of the They even stop you in the middle of a desert where there are no people. That was the last time I was. Yeah.
I'll always remember driving through Utah, and there are some places where the speed limit is like 80. Like it's in the middle
Wow.
of nowhere, and you can go up to 80, and it's okay. I actually did it just to kind of see. Okay, let's see if we can, because I'm pretty early when I drive, so I usually stick to the speed limit. But 80, 85, yeah, in some places, and they just have at it. But it's Utah, so
Well,
I once drove 80
that's
through Indiana.
that's-
I mean, sorry, go on, Sam.
that's better than California because I mean I don't think there's a single highway in California where the speed limit is 80. The speed limit is 60 or 70.
Mm-hmm.
And the last time I was stopped by a way and given a ticket was in the middle of a desert. Literally in the middle of a desert right when I was entering Arizona.
Yeah.
And they even enforce the speed limit by airplanes, by radar.
What?
Like they enforce the speed limit by planes with radar.
Yeah, I've heard of that. I think in some places you'll see signs that say like speed limit is enforced by radar or something like that, or they'll tell you that there's people watching you.
Yeah.
Do they send police cars to you when they find you, or what?
I guess.
Yeah. Last time they sent a police car after me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, it's one of those. Do we really need California? Can we? I'm torn about that because, like I said, I have family who live in California. It's a beautiful place, but it's just, is it worth it anymore? I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Could the Democrats ever win without California?
Actually, they could. I mean, did you see Adam Gray had a piece about that where he said he was talking about the whole Cal exit thing, and he said, it could actually, if the Cal exit did happen, it could set off a chain of events that wouldn't be good for the rest of the country or the rest of the people. So he thinks it's not the best idea, but
wouldn't it be just a bunch of blue states succeeding from the union?
Yeah, but I mean, they, I guess he's saying they could form alliances with countries like China or ones that might not that might want to team up against us to go to war or something. I think that was kind of what his argument was.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember that argument. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's sort of like, on the other hand, you're forcing people to be in your country who don't want to be in your country.
Yeah, there was actually a piece that just got published today by some guy saying he thinks all of blue state America should secede, and it was very condescending and very like we progressives will continue to have all the wealth and we'll continue to produce all the good things, and you guys will have nothing but your college football. It's like sort of passive aggressively condescending, and it's
Yeah.
but I don't know. It's like it just like you gotta shake your head at this guy because he doesn't get certain things. But
Yeah, most of the job growth is in red states anyway, so
Mhm.
I don't know.
Not to mention the food.
Oh yeah.
You know,
yeah,
is you can't grow much in New York, upper New in terms of there's a reason everyone moved south after a while, because the land up there, from what I understand, is pretty crappy for the most part, up in like New York and stuff. So they'll have California. That's about it.
Yeah, actually California has some pretty good land and agriculture.
Mhm.
You know, they grow a lot of Mediterranean plants that you can't grow anywhere else in America.
Mm-hmm.
Like they grow avocados, pistachios, pomegranates,
Yeah.
dates, all types of stuff.
But at the same time, that's also there has to be a reason why spinach is from California is getting E. coli and crap like that. So just saying.
Yeah.
I was going to say, is that a pun? Was that quite literally?
sorry, what?
Crap like that, quite literally. Was that a pun?
Oh,
No, that was not on purpose, but I'll take credit for it anyway. So
they're getting a lot of E. coli issues on the produce in California?
no, I was a reference to the warnings on some spinach from California. Don't eat the spinach; it might have E. coli. It's happened more than once in the last 5 years or something. So
just on the organic or any spinach?
Any spinach, it hasn't mattered. So I'm just saying there has to be a reason for that.
There was also a bit of an E. coli outbreak a couple of years ago, I think, in Chipotle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think I vaguely remember that.
Yeah, it's interesting. You don't have those kind of things happen in Chick-fil-A.
Kind of weird. It's just funny how this hangout feels different without Mark here, because he's usually with us. We miss you, Mark. Hope you join us. It's the first time he hasn't been with us in a while, I guess. So hope we didn't ban him too hard the last time about Moldavians.
Yeah, well, I think it was us.
Yeah, so it's mostly Gregory doing that.
It was. Yeah, I think it was mainly Gregory. Yeah. I don't know if Mark answered the question or not, but should they have a Moravian genocide exhibit at the Museum Tolerance?
I don't think the Museum of Tolerance should exist.
Yeah, I mean, well, I don't mind the Holocaust Museum existing as long as I don't want to be named the Museum of Tolerance because it's misleading.
Yeah, I don't really like the word tolerance. Really, it's just kind of a
weaselly
word.
tolerance just means like it's sort of like it's a lesser virtue than love. It's putting, if you tolerate something, you pretty much are admitting that you really hate it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's
the new dictionary defines it differently. It defines it, if you look at like the first listing on the online dictionary, it says tolerance is basically the love of diversity. I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but essentially they've transformed it from putting up with stuff you don't like to loving a variety of things, essentially. So
Wow.
it's become,
Well,
yeah,
diversity doesn't even mean diversity anymore. It just means not white. I mean,
true.
like there was actually an article published, I think it was, I want to say it was on CNN, but it was talking about how such and such county in Texas is the most diverse county in America. It's 98% Hispanic. It was,
Well, that's
it said,
that's a undiverse. That's
exactly, but
yeah.
they're calling that diverse. I think it was on CNN. I want to say. I should see if I can find that article. I know that somebody put up a screenshot of it on Twitter recently.
Yeah.
Hey, you have to go now, Arthur?
I do, yes. Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, thanks for joining. Hoping we can have you on again sometime.
No worries. Hopefully next time, yeah, I won't be working, or I'll have a bit more free time in the evening. But thanks again, and it was lovely talking to you all.
Yeah, have a good night.
Bye.
Thank you. You too. Bye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he has to go record his podcast, because, I mean, the reason I didn't invite him initially is because when I had exchanged emails, he said usually they record their podcast on Thursdays, so I was assuming he wouldn't be available. But, I mean,
Yeah.
But, yeah. So, did I interrupt somebody? I'm sorry.
No, you didn't. I'm not familiar with his podcast. What is it?
It's the Godcast on TRS Radio.
Okay, yeah.
He has a very lovely posh voice. It would probably be very pleasant listening.
Yeah.
Well, he's the
There's
only
a whole
British
crew of them.
Yeah. He seems he sounds pretty level-headed for TRS.
Well,
yeah,
it's
Yeah, I
posted,
mean, it's-
posted on TRS. It's not.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. No, if he must be. I bet you he's not on the. Anyway,
Yeah.
I'll check with you later where he is in Canada, Ian, if you know. But yeah, here, let me just read this real
I
quick.
don't need to know where he is in Canada or whatever. But...
No, I'm just wondering if he's in my city. It'd be nice to.
Oh.
I doubt he is.
Okay.
Yeah, number one, tolerance, a fair, objective, and permissive attitude towards those whose opinions, beliefs, practice, racial, ethnic origins, etc., differ from one's own. Freedom from bigotry. A fair, objective, and permissive attitude toward opinions, beliefs, and practices that differ from one's own. So, I mean, it's about as. Whereas the British dictionary basically has the old school definition. And then at this dictionary also, they always have Daily Beast examples of the uses of the words.
What is this dictionary you're reading from?
It's just dictionary.com. It's the first one that always comes up. So when you talk about politicization of language, I mean, they've done it. Whereas the British dictionary, the state of being the state or quality of being tolerant, capacity to endure something, especially pain or hardship. I mean, that's what, we understand tolerance to mean, is to put up with stuff. It's a rock in your shoe you tolerate.
Yeah.
So it's, it is changing because it's become, especially in the Anglican Church, we are a tolerant church. We are I hear this all the time. So it's, anyway, that's my rant on the dictionary and newspeak.
Yeah. Have you ever went on urbandictionary.com?
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like users could give their own definitions of words. So you could see some pretty shit tier definitions that are really funny, and they could even make up their own words. You could find some alt-right terms on Urban Dictionary. Yeah,
I think we need to start creating our own memes on this this Hangout series. We need to develop our own language because it seems like everybody else kind of comes up with their own lexicon, but we haven't really done that here, have we? Every time I try to start a meme, it never takes off. So I guess I need to keep trying.
Yeah, I make memes all the time, but they're never. I get a couple of likes. I think they're a bit too. I think they're a bit too weird most of the time.
I think there were. I was listening to the last Hangout we did, and I think we came up with we were talking about bogs or something. How Mark was saying like throw it in the bog or bog it or something like that.
Yes.
And you said, yeah, this is very Bog-Tier and things like that. Maybe we should. That was a Bog-Tier definition on Urban Dictionary. You can start saying Bog-Tier. That would be
Bog-Tier.
It's kind of like oven worthy.
Yes, yeah, that's right. It's the equivalent.
Like, what's is it because the reason why he's using the word bog was because they used to drown people in bogs back in the day?
I don't even know. Wish Mark were here.
Because isn't a bog like a small body of water that you could
yeah, I guess
that you could it's too shallow to swim in, but you could drown somebody's head in it and execute them that way.
Oscar Feinstein says people who read Urban Dictionary should self-bog immediately. I don't know why we have all these Jews in our chat. We have Oscar Feinstein. We have Horace Finkelstein.
I'm just keeping an eye on it.
Yeah, I don't think Horace Finkelstein's really a Jew.
I assume not, but I mean, I don't know why would he choose those.
Well, I think he was on a live hangout with Argent at one time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hey, hold on a second. Do you have to go, Bridget?
Yeah, I gotta go feed my family.
All right.
And make sure they're not starving. But this was great. We should do it again soon. I apologize for having to take off, but
that's no problem.
I wish you all well, and thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, it was good to talk to you. Have a good
Bye.
night.
Thanks for
Have a
being
good
here.
dinner.
Bye. Thank you. Bye.
Okay, bye. So now it's the three of us. I guess Lightning Patriot wants to join. Maybe should we let him in? We're all big believers in democracy around here. Should we let him in?
Yeah, we gotta give him noogies as he comes in, though.
All right. Yeah, if Lightning Patriot wants to join, I'll send you the link here. All right. Bog pill. Germanic people sacrificed people in bogs.
Is this really true, or is this
I don't know.
Is this a meme itself?
I don't know. It's true now, I guess. It's poetically true.
It's been memed into existence.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess I didn't invite a lot of people to this one just because it seems like there are a lot of people who I often invite, but I didn't invite because they haven't joined in a while, so I assumed they weren't going to. So.
Weren't you gonna invite Michael Jones to this one?
Oh, E. Michael Jones. Well, I did. That was actually going to be a different one that I was trying to do, but that ended up getting canceled because, like, he actually. For those who don't know, I mean, this is not something I publicized. I was planning to do a special hangout with E. Michael Jones, but and he said he would, but then he had to cancel at the last minute, so it ended up not happening. Hello, Lightning Patriot.
Yo, sup?
Can you do your French laugh for us? You still need work, man. You still need to work on it.
No, I
still sounds mush mouth. It needs to be more nasal, more guttural. Yeah, keep practicing. Keep practicing. That was a little better. The cadence was a little better, I guess. You gotta pretend you're Maurice Chevalier. I mean, just think how he would laugh. I mean, so anyway.
Yeah.
This is getting kind of low energy. We need more people in here. But okay. Now you're gonna spurg out on us.
You need something.
Yeah.
You know,
I was gonna screen share a bog with you guys, but I can't because like it has my name on the browser, so I don't want to dox myself.
Okay, then don't do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I would screen share with the browser that I have. Actually, there are two different browsers I use. The one I'm using right now, it doesn't show my name, but I can't use screen share with it.
Yeah, I recently discovered the screen share feature. I was thinking it would be fun to try and screen share stuff sometime, but
yeah.
I was last night on Twitter. I don't know if you guys saw. I was talking about bad music videos, and so some people were sending me suggestions for bad music videos.
Oh, I just sent you another one, I guess. There.
Oh, you did?
Well, the Sammy Hagar one.
Oh yeah, Sammy Hagar.
It's about as bad as it gets.
Yeah, I saw that video a long time ago. I can't drive 55.
Yeah.
Would we get, if I were to screen share that video, would we get a shut down for copyright or something? I don't know.
No, because they just get their advertising.
Okay, well, at least see if I can do this here. Hold on a second.
Where do you play it?
Let me see if I can do this.
Oh, play it on the main, on this.
Yeah, hold on. Let me see if I can you see with this okay, hold on. I'm working on it, folks. Just bear with me a minute here. Okay. Okay. That's what's coming up. So
Can you turn up the music?
Well, I have headphones on, so I guess I could take my headphones off. See, when you talk, that interrupts it. I remember seeing this video on MTV years ago where they were like Ed Contra was hosting it, and he was like naming the worst videos, and he's saying some cheesy stuff about like I sent Sammy Hagar to 80s obscurity or something like that. And I think this I'm gonna take this down. But yeah,
it didn't seem to play in the video. Although
sorry,
I don't know, it didn't seem to play at the thing, but I'm a little confused.
So wait, could you guys see the video?
Matter.
Yeah, I saw the video. I could relate to that song because I can't drive 65. I need to drive 85, so I'm worse than him. You know, 'cause, like the California speed limit is 65 on highways. I want to drive 85.
It was 55 when I was a kid. It was terrible. Or when I would just have my license. It was
most of the roads, even the expressways where I am, are pretty low. They're like 70 highest on like the freeways or whatever.
Yep. We need to abolish the highway patrol.
Do you want to create like your handicap system.
Well, I mean, don't get too carried away. I just said I wanted to abolish the highway patrol. I didn't say I want to abolish the government.
Yeah.
So basically, cars will
Free the,
just crash into each other.
free the streets. Yeah.
Actually, like
really, really corny video. I'm sorry, I'm
when you
watching.
get it, when you keep crashing your car.
Yeah. Well, how many speeders? Okay, well, let me rephrase that.
Laws, maybe like just
Well, yeah, like there should be higher speed limits on some highways. That's for sure. Like raise the speed limit on freeways at least to 85.
I've actually driven 80 miles an hour on Route 65 in Indiana because there was like nobody on the road, so it's pretty simple.
Yeah, I remember someone was driving me, and they were driving pretty fast. She got caught in Wisconsin, like for going like 70 or 80.
You were driving that Lightning Patriot?
Someone in the car was driving.
I think there's probably there wasn't a bug in this video. I'm very disappointed. I haven't seen that video in years, but it's pretty funny.
Which video is that?
I can't drive 55.
Oh,
They're watching it.
It's so bad. You were waiting for a bog to show up.
I don't know. I'm just.
It would have been nice.
I'm just
making it's definitely filmed in the outlying hills of California. It's probably all developed now, but that was 80 whatever that came out.
Yeah.
It's probably all housing tracks out there now.
That was before he joined Van Halen, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was pretty.
I thought Sammy Hagar became famous for Van Halen.
Well, no, he was in Margaret before that. He had a solo career after that. I mean,
your bog pill intensifies.
Sorry, what?
Pill.
The bog pill.
He put a Bog-Tier guy on the side there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. I just found it.
Bog posting.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
That's right.
Hey, Oscar, Oscar in the text chat, are you serious about there being sacrificial bogs in Germanic countries, or is that just a meme? Yeah. So bogs are the new ovens.
So, did you talk about the alt-night?
Alt-night? Is that like
we talked about him a little bit. No, he's talking about Bass Stick Man.
Bass
Stick
Man.
Yeah, we talked about him a little bit.
Weren't you listening, Lightning Period? Jeez.
I was late tuning in, like by 20 minutes. I was like gonna hang out with some a bunch of skeptics, like from the skeptic community.
Sounds like fun.
we were basically like going around like, I believe God is the universe. My God is the universe.
Okay, well, I suppose that's sort of true, but yeah, I mean.
Well, yeah, it's the realm of God. It's not God. It's like saying you are God. It's like saying the king is the country.
Yeah.
Like in a very, very literal sense.
Yeah.
Literally. Yeah.
That's like Benny Hinn stuff.
Yeah.
Well,
Did you discuss about Vault 7 yet?
What's that?
Vault 7.
What the heck? What's that?
Vault 7.
No, I've not. I haven't paid much. I haven't paid much attention to it. I saw that it came down.
It was WikiLeaks.
WikiLeaks. WikiLeaks.
I listened to Stefan Molyneux's
Declassified CIA documents.
Yes.
Or classified, but now declassified because they're known. And I remember some of the stuff I remember reading. One of the things is that the CIA was making a meme warfare center.
Really? Can that be real?
Literally a meme warfare center.
If that's actually true, that just proves how powerful these things that the alt-right is doing really are.
Yeah. Crap, right. Trying to find a dank meme.
Well, I tried to post some semi-political stuff. Well, it was actually fairly political on my normie Facebook page and got chased away by the same friend of mine, but she's a kind of an emotionally driven woman. And,
well, isn't that redundant to say emotionally driven women?
Yeah.
Yes, I suppose.
I could say that now that Bridget's not on.
Yeah. Well, my other friend.
I think Bridget's cool about that stuff, but
yeah,
another friend of mine.
Yeah, I know. I'm just joking.
Yeah.
Yeah, another friend of mine is a woman too, but she's a little bit more hard nosed. Like she can actually kind of, and we were having kind of a back and forth, and then this other woman just dropped this like heavy emotional, like, you know, pulled all the cards, you know, because I was challenging multiculturalism.
Yeah.
Which in Canada is sort of like the state religion, more so than in the States, I think. I mean, most Canadians are pretty wed to this in some way.
Well, yeah.
Prime Minister Sparkle Pants.
Yes, Prime Minister Sparkle Pants. There's a meme for her.
I've been trying to make that one catch on, but I don't know how much. I don't know how much it's caught on with other people. I've been trying to use that on Twitter and stuff, but I've been trying to.
Apparently, he got criticized yesterday
to be literally Hitler.
For being Hitler?
Being literally Hitler. This is the best way you can red pill.
What? So wait, what's going on with Justin Trudeau?
I didn't fully read the article, but I'm sure it just had to do with just normal. He was being criticized for having good optics about feminism, but really the plight of women hasn't changed. But I think it was pretty much the same thing. It's just like, you know, you're not going to make it change any more than it is. It's where women want to be. As many women as want to participate in work are participating in work, and at what levels they want to and or can. So this idea that they aren't equal to us is this false expectation. So now even cucks like him get blamed for being, hey, Britton.
Hey, Britton.
Get blamed for not accomplishing goals that can never be met. I mean, this is the reality of the thing. It's the same with the race equality stuff. It's like, well, we haven't come far enough because we haven't reached this artificial goal that we have of total equality. So even him, who's like made his cabinet like, I think, half women, he's, you know, constantly saying he's a feminist, which in my experience in life, the more a man says he's a feminist, the more he's like to be a sexual predator. I mean, this has been, this is just that, like, there's a converse relationship between claims to being, well, an inverse relationship between claiming to be a feminist and treating women with dignity. This is the,
I'm sure most of like the porn directors and porn producers are really big feminists.
Hardcore feminists. they're triple X feminists.
Didn't they? No, actually, on Twitter, somebody showed there's like some porn site that was saying like, in honor of National Women's Day, the only search results, or the day without a woman, the only search results available will be gay porn, because so you can see what life is like without. Like, I'm like, wow. Now we have porn sites virtue signaling. Like
yeah,
what we come to.
The porn industry
is what happens in Sodom.
Very yeah, the porn industry is no surprise very liberal. I mean,
Of course it is.
yeah, of
Whose phone
course.
is ringing?
Yeah.
You gotta have
Britton's
your
in
two
it.
anime wife over there.
Hey,
Yeah.
real quick, Britton, can you say something? See if we can do an audio check here.
Hello? Testing?
Yeah, hear you.
Okay. Y'all aren't getting any feedback, are y'all?
I don't hear anything. Oh, there was a phone ringing just a second ago. I don't know what that was all
Oh, yeah,
about.
that was me trying to test out, trying to test my audio, so make sure everything.
Okay. Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
I guess this is all, or this whole thing is kind of in react. Honestly, I just looked at my phone and saw y'all guys were talking, so all I know is that so far the conversation is about bogs. So I guess it's all in response to I guess the Day Without Women thing, or
Yeah.
We just happened to mention that.
Yeah, one of the tube sites just in honor of a Day Without Women Day just put up gay porn.
Or they said like the only search results will allow are for gay porn or something.
Yeah. I was reading an interest to stay on this topic. I was reading an interesting article on Return of Kings. It's called. I'll post it real quick. It's called "The Hidden Agenda Behind Interracial Porn." It's a very good article that you guys should check out. You know.
the agenda, or just the agenda.
It's a hidden agenda. I'm posting it in the link right now in the chat.
Let me see this here.
Yeah. It's like, just want to warn you, the article will make you very angry at an unnamed minority group.
You
Don't
mean
say
to
anything.
send people there?
We're talking about the Eskimos. You know that.
Yeah, the Eskimos.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those bloody Eskimos.
Yeah, no, I mean
they're just sitting over there in the snow, plotting on their computer.
Yeah.
Like a bunch of neats.
Yeah, I remember that thing on YouTube. By the way, I think it was trending or something. But yeah, I mean,
What thing on YouTube?
the article, the one where I think it was actually in the trending of this this interracial photo shoot. Yeah, it wasn't even censored on YouTube. Frontal nudity and stuff. But yeah, I mean,
Are you talking about the one that it mentioned in the article that like it was in Norway or something and they were showing it to kids?
let's see. The one that talks about following YouTube's law of double standard, it was depicted it would be banned because it is interracial, it is artsy and progressive, breaking vile taboos of the white hetero patriarchy. The video was removed by YouTube after thousands of dislikes and messages of outrage all over the internet. Meanwhile, such states as Israel lead heavy campaigns to denounce miscegenation between Jews and the Goyim.
Are you reading from the article?
Yeah.
I don't know if this is something I'd like to discuss here, frankly. No offense, but I mean, it's an interesting article. I'll definitely check it out later, but I don't really want to talk about interracial porn here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't, but I mean,
Or even porn in general.
Yeah, I know. It's just something that like I've read today and I thought was interesting, and we all kind of know that porn is something that pervades like everything nowadays, unfortunately. I mean, and it's not just like And people have redefined the word and moved the goalposts whereby like it's only porn if it's like the most extreme thing, but like if it's just like pictures of naked women, then it's considered art.
Yeah, it's just still art or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand what you mean. Like we shouldn't talk about this here
Yeah.
too much.
Yeah.
Um,
I do wonder if we actually recorded these and edited them later. I wonder, like, if I were to edit out all the awkward parts or whatever. I wonder how these podcasts what they would sound like. Like if I try to edit it down to a real podcast. Because mostly free flowing conversations, but
probably very short.
Yeah.
Probably. Even that.
Probably like 5 seconds
of on-topic conversation at a time.
Yeah.
It might end up sounding like it was being hosted by a bunch of schizophrenics, but.
How's it going with Britton? Didn't you say you got a new job a while back?
Actually, I just got it. That was actually only a temp job, so I just finished that, and now I'm actually working with the city. So it's pretty nice.
You're working for the city?
Yeah, doing like mowing lawns and filling in potholes and stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, maintenance work, cool.
But yeah, so I guess y'all have been in here for a while, so I guess y'all kind of established the groundwork of the conversation.
No, we're just saying whatever.
You're mowing lawns and killing potheads? What? What kind
of? The second one's actually just a fantasy of mine, but.
Yes.
But yeah, no, I'm doing all right. I'm just I'm still trying a little struggling with a couple things, but in terms of a job, I think I found something pretty stable, and it's fun work in all honesty. So yeah, what have y'all been up to?
Just I've been learning the piano lately.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I actually picked up learning the guitar, so.
Are you playing on your own or learning on your own, or you have a teacher?
Yeah, I'm learning on my own.
Yeah.
Ian?
There's actually like an app on my phone all it does is teach you like how to play the guitar and stuff like that. I suck at it so far, so.
Yeah, well, I used to.
Did Varg inspire you to pick up the guitar?
Who?
Varg?
Varg Vickerness?
Yeah.
Negative.
I'm just joking. Yeah.
Negative, Ghost Rider.
As far as me, I'm learning to play the piano. Like this lady at church, who's a music teacher, I asked her if she gives lessons, and I told her I was learning to play, and she gave me this book that's for like adult beginners. So.
Oh, cool.
I'm using that as my thing. Not very good yet, but better than I used to be.
The first song we'll learn today is Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star.
You gotta start somewhere.
Yeah. No, I mean, if you can do that, that's more than I can do. I can play 2 notes in a row, and that's what I can accomplish.
Well, right now I'm just learning like C position, G position, like just putting your hands in certain keys, and that's about it. I mean.
Yeah, I'm pretty much I can kind of. I'm a deceptive player. It looks like I kind of have some knowledge about what I'm doing, but I pretty much play chords. So
yeah,
I'm kind of a jazz player without jazz sensibility.
Yeah.
So, but I really enjoy playing the piano.
Yeah, I'd like to, for the songs I'm writing, I'd like to compose parts for keys. So, like, it helps to know these things, I guess. It is interesting with a piano keyboard how you can do some things like like you have the black keys and the white keys, and you can sort of like see the notes laid out better than you can on the guitar.
Yeah, it makes music theory a lot easier to conceive.
Exactly.
Yeah, most guitar players never, like folk players or just, casual players. They learn chords a little bit, but they don't learn theory at all because it's mayhem on the guitar neck. I mean, there's no pattern there to see it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, I do know like which, like if you're just using like the sort of bar chords just going up and down the neck, I kind of know which ones, where certain ones are like the E and A strings. I can kind of figure those out. But and if you just want to do a 1-4-5 progression, you can like just go, start at the E string, then go to the A string, and then go 2 frets over. It's easy to do stuff like that. So if you want to play a song by the Ramones, you pretty much know what you need to do.
A lot of those rock songs are pretty simple. You just move the power chord down the neck and up the neck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've gotten better at doing the like E-shaped bar chord, where it's like you use the shape that you use for the E and just slide that one down.
Yeah, I've never been good at power chords, but never played electric much. I always found the full bar, the grand bar, much easier than trying to just play 2 strings for whatever reason. Like it's like never worked for me. The rock and roll, the kind of metal thing, or thrash, or whatever it is.
You mean where they're just playing like? What's that, Sam?
You mean like it's the rhythmic guitar?
Well, you're usually just playing a root and a fifth for power chords. Right?
Well, it could be like 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's
Is
right.
it like? Yeah, it's dun 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 dun.
Bar chords.
Dun, dun.
Bar
Oh, now
chords.
Black Sabbath's gonna sue us. Great.
Yeah. You recognize the song?
Is that Iron Man?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Power chords are Bog-Tier. Real gentlemen play the grand bar.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen it called that in any books?
What's a grand bar?
Do you play the guitar lighting, Patriot?
I tried a few times, but no. I kind of became more interested in drums.
Oh,
cool.
okay. You need to start a band here.
We got a band here, yeah.
Or how about this one?
Was that Person Gloria?
Yeah, that was it. But then I switched it to Horst Wessel lead.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's blurry.
That's serious spurglarping.
Do you like industrial metal?
It is my favorite. It is one of my favorite, just kind of marches. It has this sort of triumphing sort of sound to it. But yeah, march on
We're down to 4 viewers. One is not. This is,
Why?
Both industrial and industrial metal, both of them are actually subgenres, but they're not the same subgenre.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like when I first heard of industrial metal, I was thinking martial industrial. I was like, what the fuck is this shit? This is a bunch of libtard bullshit. I kind of have this like futurist ideal when I think of when I think of industrial. I don't think of this like literally bogged down, just kind of
Bogged.
the poor. That's literally what it is. It's not with like the energy or like any of that. It's just like very libtard, like
You out there, guy.
Do you remember that?
Are you
Remember that?
talking about like the dystopian Blade
Yeah.
Runner type
Yeah.
type imagery?
Out there.
Do you remember that
What?
segment that Seventh Son did with Henry Rollins on the Daily Show? It's like, I'm Henry Rollins. I'm here to tell you the truth.
Oh yeah.
That
You
was
must
really
be a
funny.
cuck.
Like, I hold all the same liberal views I held when I was a teenager. That makes me edgy, or something like that.
That means you're conservative.
Uh,
If you hold the exact same liberal views, you're a conservative. That's what a conservative is.
he just
That's
he's
true.
just been doing a,
Conservative.
he's been doing a tour where he's,
That'd be pretty hard line conservative. Just like maybe when you were
Well-
younger, they were after sodomy. So
Isn't-
you'll defend marriage, but not like the anti-sodomy laws. Like, oh yeah, that was justified, except for this revolution. This is unjust.
Isn't like
wasn't all the revolutions unjust? Go ahead.
yeah, isn't a liberal who became a conservative because he hasn't changed his views from
Yeah,
when he was
that's
16?
That's what it
That's
is.
Gavin McGinnis.
I've heard this definition. Basically,
Yeah.
if you're a conservative,
Yeah,
you're trying to basically hold the line. You're not going to advance anywhere. You're just holding
Exactly.
the line.
Yeah,
And
Yeah,
it's more like I agree with liberals when they say it's just like you're basically holding back the water stream.
yeah,
We're about restoring the water stream, not the direction where it's headed right now. Not holding it back, but restoring its original flow.
right.
Yeah.
Futurism.
The future is a scary thing.
Futurism.
Have you guys noticed that
I like
like
that movie.
all of the new technology that's being created is all entertainment oriented? Like there's no new technology for like making things more productive, such as like having drones do farming or stuff like that.
Or how about this? Taking into account the fact that if you look at MPG on cars, for the last probably 30 years at this point, your average American sedan is stuck at what, fucking 30 miles a gallon at best.
Right.
Meanwhile, like in the early 90s, there I think it was Ford. I think it was the Ford Probe or something. It was basically like a Mustang or a Taurus or something, but they had actually taken the time to design it aerodynamically, like legitimately aerodynamically. They didn't have those fancy spoked wheels, which caused about 80% of the drag on a vehicle. The wheel hubs were smooth, or the hubcaps were smooth, so the air just glided off it. Anyway, this car got insane. It was like 50 miles to the gallon or 60 miles to the gallon. It was crazy. But for some reason now we're struggling, and we're not just struggling. We're bragging about a groundbreaking 34 miles per gallon when that's been the groundbreaking thing for the last 15 freaking years.
I wonder
Wow.
why, guy.
maybe it's they'll reach the maximum efficiency. Like it
No, like I said,
Maybe we're breaking grounds in other areas.
no, like remember what I was saying? Back in the 90s, we had vehicles like hell. I've got an 89 or 91 Honda Civic.
Dang, that's 20 years.
This little beast gets 40, 50 miles to the gallon, and this is older. I mean, this is older than I am, and it has better gas mileage than probably any car on the market today.
Yeah.
How could that be?
You saying
I think-
we was higher mileage and shit?
Okay, lightning Patriot.
No, it's a good point because what they're doing is they're kind of creating this this consumerist loop, and you know, when you take into account the fact that you know car prices are rising to the point where you know it takes 7 years to pay off a freaking car. By the time that 7 years is done, your car's already trashed and has to be, you know, gotten rid of, you know, basically by the time you finish paying it off, you have to buy another one because you can't keep running anymore because they don't put any quality into the product anymore. They want you.
I wonder why.
No, that voice is very telling about what, you know, what is going on.
Capitalism. Global capitalism.
And it's not just in the automotive industry either. I mean, you know, take a look at what do you call it? The consumerist culture behind, you know, console gaming and mobile, you know.
Everything. Yeah, Davis Sorini has been harping on this for a while. Exactly what you're talking about. How everything's like lower quality, like, and how in every car now, like they have like they add like stupid features such as like a back camera and like all types of
It's not that. I mean, for backing up. I mean, in a really crowded garage or something, or say you have small kids. That's not necessarily a stupid feature, but the thing is that a feature like that shouldn't be like a 10 mile per gallon hit on your vehicle.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, but like the way. Well, the only thing I could, if I'm inside the head of these car makers, the only reason I could think of is for not improving the fuel efficiency is because you want to add other features that stand out more to the average car buyer, you know, like Bluetooth and like TVs and stuff like that, you know.
Then also just like all the precaution stuff they're making with sensors and autopilot, basically.
Yeah. Is that your average American car buyer is your average American, which means he's likely struggling just to keep his freaking house, if he even has a house.
Right.
So he's going to be more concerned with what's going to save him money than, hopefully this is what he's thinking, what can save him money more than he's concerned with, oh man, can I get my Pandora streamed here?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so you saying we should start making Pepe's cars?
All right.
Pepe's car company?
Yeah. There's actually a company that started up, I guess, pretty recently. I'm not sure if they're actually producing cars right now. I think they are, actually. I think they started production this year, or last year, rather. It's Elio, and I'll send you guys a link. It's actually a really cool thing to look into. I don't want this to be like the main thing in the the main point of the conversation is me, shilling out for a car company that I
Yeah.
You were paid off. All right, enough of this. Enough of you posting.
Brought to you by Elio Car Company. But I actually just thought about this today. My coworker was listening to sports radio, and it's just funny how the host would just totally break character for a second, or not even break character, but he just trail off from, and I think Peyton Manning is a good player. Which, by the way, which leads me to thinking about my pillow.
Well, they do that on talk radio all the time.
Is good.
All right, no more merchant posting for the time being.
It's just
but I mean, they do that on like talk radio all the time. Like they'll say like I know Sean Hannity and people like that will do that all the time. They'll like just talk about something, and then they'll segue into plugging some product that sponsors them.
Yes, your mental pills on Alex Jones.
Speaking of which, don't you know that I take clonazepam? Or I don't know.
The globalists.
We have a beautiful
Full filter here to filter out all the chloride.
Yeah, I don't think he would actually take pills because he wouldn't trust it.
This water filter filters out the chemicals that are turning freaking frogs gay.
The government's trying to poison you, which is why I always use filter right. Yeah.
Yeah, one of the things about the car, like the car purchase in the States, is I mean, it's a big expense, but it's one that can be managed, like you say, over 7 years. So your payments are whatever they are, what is it, $200 to $400, I guess, depending on the quality of car you're getting.
Right.
So you're sort of, suffering under this debt plus the gas and the insurance.
Plus the gas mileage, which isn't getting any freaking better. You're paying $400, for 7 years.
And you're living in some.
Yeah, you're likely already living in a shithole. So
yeah, your place you're living is not great, but you have this car, so you can kind of get this idea that at least when you're out on the road or when you got this new car, so you feel like you're, a Kang in a way because you got this car, and that's what you're pouring your kind of surplus money into, which you could be saving.
I remember that there are people who sometimes sleep in their cars.
At the end of the road, at the end of that road, these cars nowadays aren't meant. They're not designed like cars, in this, anywhere from the 60s to the 80s, where they're designed
in the 20s.
Yeah, I mean, they're not designed to to last. They're designed to fail at the end of their warranty.
Yeah, all the trinkets start to fall apart, fail. The windows don't go down. That's my car's like that. Like it had an electrical stroke. It's only a 2007, but I haven't been able to get it fixed. So thankfully the window went back up because the winter came. But the stereo's not working, and a couple of other things don't work.
Not just the trinkets there. I mean, it's the actual mechanisms that keep the car running that start to fail. And by the end of it, you'd be lucky if you manage to pay the car off by the time that it ends up totaling itself.
I mean,
my burger.
It's more costly to keep it running than it is to just buy a new one and enslave yourself for another 7 years.
Yeah. And it keeps you from, it takes a good deal of your income away. Allows you to think you're having a luxury to some degree, at least every once in a while when you get it new. Yeah, it's a real racket, this car thing. It's So what was this thing? There's somebody making like a bargain car?
Oh yeah, it's like, okay, so brand new, it's $6,000, which aside from this car, the cheapest car or the least expensive car on the market is, I think, the Nissan Sentra, and that runs, completely stock. Not, we're talking like you have to unlock and lock. There's no remote locks. You have to lock and unlock the doors yourself. I know, Stone Age, right?
Like Soviet tier.
Soviet tier. No, Soviet tier would be there are no locks because your car is community property.
Yes.
There are no locks in the communist state.
Except to keep you in. No,
car locks you.
But yeah, it's like $6,500.
How much is the Sentra?
Sentra's like I think 12,000. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's funny because when the Hyundai Ponies came out, they were like that. They were super cheap compared to everybody else's cars.
Yeah, and
that's back in the mid '80s, and all the young people drove these Hyundai Ponies because it was like, far and above the absolute cheapest vehicle you could buy.
But it actually uses, I think, it uses a little 3-cylinder engine, kind of like the Geo Metro, and it has similar. Let me look it up right now. It has similar gas mileage to the Smart car, if not better. Video car. 84 miles per gallon.
Wow.
Yeah, and
nice.
It's a 2-seater. It's not like a big family sedan, but I mean, if you're talking about a commuter car, which a lot of what Americans use their car for, and part of it is the corporation's fault for selling them such a shite product, but part of it is also the fault of the actual consumer for wanting this kind of garbage, because one of the big reasons, one of the reasons why, American cars, never have and likely never will improve in gas mileage is the fact that Americans, we want power. We want, horsepower. So, we get an engine. I mean, like the Mustang. I mean, people who buy the Mustang nowadays, I mean, they're buying it for the illusion of the power that it supposedly has. But I mean, I've seen what do you call it? I've seen the Honda Civic, 1980s, 1990s Honda Civics, completely blast modern day Mustangs. So I mean, Americans want that feel of they like you said, they want that luxury. But in all honesty, it's not helping them one bit.
Yeah, even if if the rest of their life is sort of low grade, they've at least got this car.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Everything.
Even that's being used as a tool to enslave them. So I mean, it's pointless.
Yeah.
It's becoming a rent economy, rent and fiat economy. Like nobody's buying houses anymore either. Everybody's like going to and living in apartments.
Yeah.
Which is it's funny you mentioned that because I mean I think there was a whole thing by Sir John Glubb I think it was called The Fate of Empires. Talks about how like it's pretty much what do you call it? It's pretty much a guarantee that when a nation switches to a fiat economy, the empire usually falls within 50 years.
Yeah. Matt Heimbach said that like don't even bother saving up because it's fiat money anyways.
Yeah.
Have you heard him say that?
No, I'm really not familiar with Heimbach. I mean, I know
He
a lot.
leads the TWP or Traditionalist Workers Party in the United States.
I met a couple of acquaintances that used to be a part of that. I'm familiar with what he's a part of and what he does. I'm just not. I just don't keep up with him,
Yeah. Well, I only recently watched a couple of his videos. Pretty interesting stuff,
Did you see the recent one he posted with about feminism being a?
Oh,
it's interesting when you think of it that way. That it reduces
being chosen.
limits.
Yeah, about feminism being part of the chosen people's conspiracy, being created by the chosen people or something.
There's the
You're
car.
just an economic unit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think it's just liberals in general will push people in those directions. I mean, not necessarily a certain
Well, the
ethnic
liberals,
group.
they like to view things in a very detached and very, egalitarian,
Liberal way.
In this very negative, technocratic way. Like in a lot of the negatives of that kind of thinking. Where it's just everything, we're all equal because we can all be controlled when we think we're equal and we accept that reality.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or that quote-unquote reality.
Democracy itself
Yeah.
is a tool to give people the illusion that they have the power to control their government when in all reality, it's a lot easier to control a mass of people through social engineering than it is for the people to, kind of coalesce together and make, a definite decision about what they want. Of their own free will.
Have you seen that article by Free Northerner? I think it's called Chronic Kinglessness. He talked about how nobody, even in government, really has any real power. So it's like everybody's just kind of reaching out and trying to grasp whatever power they can get, what little scraps there are of it.
Sounds like Somalia.
Yeah. Yeah. I was even commenting on Twitter earlier today about how, I was talking about how, after the news of one of these hate crime hoaxes came out, I said something like, this rise in hate crime hoaxes proves that being a victim is where the goodies are. So, it's beneficial to be a victim rather than not to be one, because basically you'll be catered to, and how it's kind of what you were saying earlier about how it gives you the illusion of power. It gives you, because really you don't have power. I mean, even the people with the savior complex who try to champion your cause or whatever, they still know deep down that in most cases, the reason you're a quote unquote victim is because you're probably not a high quality individual. So, like,
You're not a threat.
okay, but that's, yeah, but I mean, where was I even going with this? Just I was saying how like it gives people the illusion of power to try and shake down people or try and claim that like, you know, I'm standing up for my rights, and like gives you the feeling of having power over people to do that kind of thing. So just
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm just rambling here, but it's just off the cuff thoughts.
Yeah, I mean that is what it does. It's I mean very usually. Oh, wow, goodness. Yeah, very usually there is, you know, some kind of, I don't know how to describe it, oligarchy behind a democracy, you know, that like an education system that is feeding certain ideas into the people's heads.
Yes, certain ideas.
Where, kiddo?
Yes, yes. It's very weird. These ideas came from.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's extremely easy to use social engineering. In fact, I mean, you know, corporations have even caught on, and they use social engineering to sell their products. Really simple. Like, okay, you know that honk with the whole Inception honk, the one that's like, you know, in the trailer, it shows a scene and that's
I think movies are degenerate, and I don't watch them.
But that's
I literally ask my parents to leave me at home when they want me to go to a movie. I'm like, this is just a bunch of Jewish bullshit. I'm not gonna listen to it.
Okay, all right, but
yeah, I think Ian tries to stay away from the JQ.
yeah, I mean, let's not harp on it too much. I mean, we can talk about it if it's relevant, but let's not.
Right.
I don't like this kind of reductionistic thinking when it comes to the JQ, because I think that's sort of lazy. I mean, like, I don't know, it's just kind of a pet peeve of mine how
They're not
some
as,
bad
they're
happen.
not as strong as we think they are, but they do have a very pressing influence. I mean, they were the people who killed.
Yeah, we understand
the
that.
people who rejected.
Yeah. Yeah, like, I'm not denying any of that. I'm not saying it's something we can't ever talk about, but I mean, let's not just sit around talking about problems and then start going, yeah, it's because the Jews did it. Oh, the Jews. Let's stop.
They're the source of everything.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think
I stubbed my toe this morning. Dang Jews. I mean,
It was a Russian hacker.
You recognize they're a problem. Everyone that watches this podcast probably recognizes them as a problem. I mean, the only thing it would do to keep talking about it is, you know, put us on the list, you know?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm just saying we don't need to sit and, like, merchant post about everything. And, like, it's kind of a, like, I mean, like, yeah, it's not always necessary to discuss that because it's not always, like...
Merchant, buy Helio cars.
There are other outlets that do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, what I was saying about the media with you know, using social engineering with like movies and stuff, it's that Inception flop, that big old noise in the trailers, you know, whatever is trying to convey some extreme emotion of, you know, ooh. And so I mean, you know, I've seen that blomp in, like, you know, not just in movies. By the way, since Inception, it's basically used in any movie, any movie trailer that's not like a romantic comedy or something. And it's insane. But the thing is, I don't know if it just has the opposite effect on me, but, you know, when normal people see it, I guess what goes through their head is like, it's like Pavlov's dog kind of. They hear that noise and they automatically think back to, oh, Inception. Inception was mysterious, and it was, you know, this and that. That means this show is going to be this and that. And so that they want whatever is being, you know, blomped about. So I mean, it's kind of the same thing with how the old commercials would put sexy women next to sports cars, or to kind of correlate the two things in your brain. Like, oh, women like sports cars. I like women. I'm gonna buy a sports car. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I mean, that's an easy way to sell things to people. I mean, because find something they want.
Yeah. I mean, there's a difference between finding something that people want and generally filling a niche in the market. Like, hey, there's a need for a product that scratches your back.
Yeah, they have those.
Yeah.
Just those little wooden things.
Yeah, wood things, but nothing that can scratch your back without you having to reach behind you. So, so I'm gonna invent a chair that you sit in and it scratches your back for you. Thing is if the market is really there, if you're not just catering to a frivolous market, you don't need to have hype points like like that blob. You don't need to have these crazy things to basically convince people to try it.
Yeah. Well, it kind of reminds me how they sort of create the idea that you need this by saying like a normal pan will stick, and they'll show some like really crusty pan, but this pan doesn't stick at all, or that kind of thing. Like like normal Tupperware doesn't seal well and spills all over the place, and they'll show it happening, or that kind of stuff. Like they always show you like the worst possible example.
What?
Yeah, and then in your brain, I mean, because of the way your brain works, I mean, bad things stand out in your brain more than in your memories.
Right.
So when that actually does happen to you, the times that the Tupperware is that you have has sealed successfully and been completely fine, that's just normal. But when it fails, when you spill it or whatever, it stands out in your brain. It's like, oh, darn it. And then, it leaves a lasting impression of Tupperware on you. And then you see this commercial, and then you see them say, oh, well, this happens with Tupperware. And like, oh, yeah, that did happen that one time 3 years ago. And then you buy the product because you're a tool.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, that really goes to what you're saying about how, like, once you create images in people's minds, that affects how they think. I mean, that's, like, really what the danger is of...
Consumerism is a never-ending hellhole. It just gets deeper. I mean, look at Japan, in all honesty. Like,
Father Raphael Johnson said that the only way demons have power is through images.
Huh.
Interesting quote. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, is there any more elaboration on that? That's actually...
Yeah, it's pretty much like when you lust, you're pretty much having fantasies about certain women in your head, and it leads you down like a certain road, or like when you think about becoming rich, how your lifestyle would be like if you had a lot of money, and it sends you down like a certain road where like you become like where you cut corners on ethics in your business.
Gives me that.
Yeah. Or it could be all types of things, because like that's how temptation comes about. Like that's how we're tempted by demons, is because the very definition of a temptation is an image in our mind of how our life would be great if we sin, if we cut the corners.
That's interesting. I mean, yeah, I do know what you're saying. Like, I do sometimes wonder, like, if I weren't a Christian, like if I didn't believe in any of this stuff, like, would I just go out and indulge myself, or what?
Yeah.
Sometimes I think, like, what could I do if I didn't have this morality keeping me from doing it?
Well,
yeah, it's also like, it's a lot of it's your social circle as well, like imagine if not just being Christian, but like imagine if you had more privacy than you do at the moment in your day-to-day life. Imagine if you could like just fly off to any part of the world, you know, and do whatever you want in complete secrecy. Imagine, and you had all the fame and the money to do it, you know, and it's like, how would we handle it? And I wouldn't handle it very well, and I think that's why I'm not rich and famous, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not Tim Tebow.
Pizza.
Well, yeah, what were you saying, Sam?
Well, I wouldn't do any Pizzagate type stuff.
Yeah, that's going a little far.
But what came to mind, it's like, specific elite
This is haram.
doing whatever they want in privacy.
Yeah, this is very haram.
Absolutely haram.
But I mean, okay. But back on topic. I forgot what I was gonna say. But I don't know. Like to me, like I do wonder that sometimes, like if I were rich, because like I don't really have much money right now, so I sometimes. What?
He's playing If I Were a Rich Man.
Oh. But I'm just saying, like, oftentimes when I think about having money, I think about what I could do with it, like what I could build with it, what I could create with it. Like, I think, you know, yeah,
Power.
well, it's not power even. Like, I'm just saying, like, if some, like, let's say somebody gave me $1 million, I'd probably invest it in equipment for some certain goals I have in life and creating certain things.
Certain preparations? Certain,
no.
Leadership and communal defense?
Yeah.
No, that wasn't my thought. I was thinking more like.
I think that's more of like a German way of thinking.
Well, I am part German, but I mean.
Oh, that explains a lot.
I just think about like I would buy equipment, like music equipment. I'd buy recording equipment. I'd probably buy better computer equipment. Probably buy art equipment, things like that. I mean, because that would help me reach my goals, which is of what I really want to do. But
podcasting, right?
Sorry, what?
I said, which is podcasting, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, even heck, I'd get a better microphone than this one. I could probably invest more in podcasting if I had more money, and which would allow me free time to do it. But
yeah,
I've never tried to make money off anything I do in the alt-right just because I'm just not that kind of person.
Literally playing Minecraft all day.
No. It's more like go on Twitter all day. No, but no, I don't do that every day. But just you know, I practice the piano. I like read blogs. I want to be an artist. I have a lot of artistic ideas that I would like to actualize.
Yeah.
But so like when I think about money, that's what I think I would do with it because that's the kind of thing I think about. But I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I would. I'd be free to be to learn and to create. That's what I would do if I were. I mean, it's what I do in the time.
I use it.
Yeah,
Mostly what I do in my free time. So it's what I would do if I had more free time. It's not like I don't do it to make money. I don't do it, you know, I do it as it's my life. So it's what I would definitely do. It would definitely what I would do if I was somehow, you know, either able to make money off something, you know, if I were able to sell a product or something and then to have passive income, that would be wonderful. And I do have a few things I'm always kind of never quite bringing to market, but kind of developing along. But someday maybe that would be a nice place to be, because yeah, I mean maybe I'm older, but yeah, the idea of like indulging in there's something kind of tacky about this idea of just radically just giving yourself over to indulging in pleasure. I mean, on the one hand, you can say it's not, you know, as Christians, we shouldn't do this. But on the other hand, you look at the people who do it, and they're just kind of cheesy. It's kind of tacky. It's not a
Very weak.
not-
You can
it's
become
not a
very
noble
weak
way
if you
of ending life.
give in
Yeah,
to
yeah.
Yeah, and
I mean, that's
and
supposed to make you strong.
yeah, and it's also like I mean, we know that these people are not internally fulfilled. You know, they're just doing. They just need more and more of the same stuff. Like
More
they
Gibbs.
yeah, it's like they have more. They just get more and more crack, more and more women, and it's just none of it's fulfilling them. You know, they're just living a very empty life. You know, but even though we know that in our heads, but like emotionally, it's still tempting to us, you know, to live the lives that they live.
Yeah, my son and I recently found this musician. Well, a few of these kind of musicians that I guess are from California. And one, her name is Mars Argo. Have you guys ever heard of her?
No.
No.
She's sort of like the siren of nihilism. Like she just is like, she's beautiful and very alluring and kind of in this weird kind of. Anyway, you could look up some of her videos. But
Is she like I think I haven't heard of her, but I have a certain stereotype of her in my head.
there's
like-
also this girl that Poppy as well. All part of the same.
Yeah.
All part of the same kind of these kids from Cali, and they're like, I mean, on the one hand, they're being ironic and they're making fun of fame, but the other hand, the only goal they have is to be famous, right?
Yeah, exactly.
There's this sort of weird, like, it's so meaningless, but all there is to indulge in this meaninglessness and hopefully to make some money at it, basically, right? To try to get rich,
Right.
and it's this siren song of kind of like, you know, of this kind of world that we live in. I mean, I've ever since I heard Bret Stephens say, I haven't actually read the book yet, but his take on nihilism is different. So I always feel a little bit self-conscious when I use the term nihilism as strictly as a pejorative. But anyway, I'll keep using it until I am corrected otherwise. But yeah, it's this kind of bottomless pit of despair, and it's sort of like Death of the West. My son and I kind of look at this genre of music that's sort of despair, you know, kind of soft pleasure of despair kind of thing. It's weird.
Yeah.
As being just like, and these are white kids, right? So this is what white people, this is the state of whiteness in kind of California, you know, in 2017 is just this kind of meaningless splaying out into a fame that you sort of half think is ridiculous.
Yeah, that has been the meaning of whiteness in LA. I mean, my God, if you see the white people in LA, they're exactly like that.
So these are just
yeah, in like a particular part of LA in Hollywood, you'll see like the worst stereotype of that.
I used to watch American Idol. You'd see that all the time.
Yeah.
There's like so many people you could. I don't even know what you're talking about. but yeah, I mean, I remember when I used to watch that, there were a lot of people like you would watch them, and you could tell they were like really, really desperate to be famous because that was what they wanted more than anything. It wasn't even like artistry that they wanted. It seemed like they just wanted to be stars.
Yeah.
You know what? What do you call it? Japan actually has a market there. I'm not really sure. I think it's called Idols, which. All right, Mr. Ten Commandments. That's not a great thing. But anyway, I mean, they're not Christians, so they wouldn't have any kind of like self-awareness of it. But yeah, I mean, they have. Well, hey, American Idol. It's the same thing. But no, it's basically they create these people, basically these corporations either scout or basically make a person be, the end all be all of what, a Japanese person should be, and then they're, idolized. They're idolized by the people. A lot of pop singers. I mean, hell, it's the same. It's the same damn thing here too. Like, a bunch of the people in here that just can't hold a freaking tune, but they're on every freaking pop song. Or like Kim Kardashian, which I'm not even familiar with how she became popular to begin with.
She's famous for being famous, basically.
Exactly.
Well, Kim Kardashian doesn't even count because she's not a singer.
Yeah, no, I mean, same thing with Japanese idols. They're not necessarily singers either. They're just, people who may look pretty, or they may sing. They may do art.
Right.
But the whole point of it is to basically idol worship a person. And
yeah, but I mean, well, Kim Kardashian is different because she did not become famous being a singer, and she doesn't get like I haven't heard a single song by her. I mean, I may be lucky, but I've never heard of her like having a music career or anything like that. She's marketed as a reality star.
Yeah, I think that's all she is. She's just famous because she had a TV show. So, and I guess I guess her father was one of O.J. Simpson's attorneys or something. But so she's rich.
she's famous for other reasons as well. Which
yeah,
we're not going to go into.
Yeah, but
interesting.
Yeah. I share the story. I remember the first time I ever heard of Kim Kardashian. It was because
may have something to do with the Return of Kings link that Sam sent us earlier.
Yeah, but I was just gonna say that I remember the first time I ever heard of Kim Kardashian. It's because I don't watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians or whatever her show's called, but I mean, I saw a headline that apparently she was dating the football player Reggie Bush, and it says the headline is Reggie Bush dating Kim Kardashian, and I'm like, who's this Kim Kardashian person? Why is she putting the headline as if I'm supposed to know who she is? Like, like it was just like I can understand if it was like an athlete because he's actually done something, but like just some person on a TV show that I don't know why is important. It's just kind of funny to me. But I remember one time I saw an episode of How I Met Your Mother where she had a cameo in it where she was on the cover of a magazine and this guy was like having a fantasy that she was speaking to him. He's like, "Wow, thanks, hot girl who's famous for some reason I can't ever remember," and, or something like that.
Yeah, it's just a distraction machine. It's crazy.
I mean, that's honestly what a lot of media is, whether it's video games or TV shows. TV shows are perfect. They're guaranteed 30 minutes of somebody not being counterproductive to their counterproductiveness.
Yeah, and
they're antisocial, and I guess that's what I'm going to start calling it now. Their antisocial engineering is making sure that people don't become self-aware. And 30 minutes, them spending 30 minutes of watching, Keeping Up with the Kardashians is a guaranteed 30 minutes of them not looking into what's turning the frickin' frogs gay. So.
Well, it's not only that, it's also like these girls watch these shows with like these girls living in Beverly Hills or living in like the parts of whatever city that that most guys can't, like all these girls in these reality TV shows are living the type of lifestyle that the majority of men out there can't provide, so it's messing with girls' psyches more than porn is messing with guys' psyches.
That makes sense. I mean,
that's an interesting observation, yeah.
Yeah, it's setting them up to have, pardon me for using this phrase, but giving them unrealistic male expectations.
Exactly, that's the thing. You know, it's like, and it's becoming harder. It's now that like the economy's tanking. I mean, it's maybe it's doing a little bit better under Trump, but it's still tanking because it's a fiat economy, and more and more people are. I don't know how to explain this, but I think it's like you're not gonna make the type of money where you could provide like a white picket fenced lifestyle as easily as you could in the baby boomer days.
Yeah.
Because like life and the standard of living is becoming expensive.
The standard of living is going down while the cost of living is going up.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, pretty much. And also, like, if you want to buy a house, you have to move out of California. You have to move out of pretty much
any area, which
yeah,
is not necessarily a bad thing to remove yourself from, you know, the highly concentrated liberal masses.
Oh yeah, but at the same time,
And the chimp
like
wave.
how many? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, sorry, I'm being a little bit long-winded, but I mean, even like the white picket fence lifestyle, that would be a huge letdown for these girls who've watched the Kardashians 24/7, because there's a big difference between Beverly Hills and a white picket fence.
Yeah. Which, I mean, Beverly Hills lifestyle, you know, is honestly just nothing but nonstop 24/7 hedonism. Oh, we're going clubbing. Oh my god.
Yes.
We're going out for plastic surgery today.
I'm
Yeah.
getting my ass extended. I'm getting ass extensions. They're like hair extensions for your ass. I mean, you have things like that. You have, you know, extreme displays of vanity like that. You have, you know, hedonism to the point of just insanity. And I mean, not only is that lifestyle expensive, really expensive, I mean, it also does a number on your body. I mean, there have been a number of people that have made the observation that people who lead hedonistic lifestyles tend to age a lot quicker. I mean, I haven't started, you know, drinking until probably the last year, and I'm 23, so because I've just kind of avoided, you know, vice for so long, I mean, I look probably I've had people say I look as young as a high schooler.
Yeah. Same
I
here.
don't drink, and
It's
people think that of me.
yeah. People mistake me for being 10 years younger, actually, all the time, because I don't drink, I don't smoke, you know, I don't have sex, you know, I live a pretty clean lifestyle. I mean,
which is also
Same here.
you mentioned sex.
Yeah.
It's also pretty funny that a lot of these people that have this this hedonistic, you know, hyperbaric aging is homosexuals, which I guess goes back to the conversation at hand, the bogs. But I mean,
oh yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, Boggs, homosexuals aging. I wonder what this math adds up to.
but yeah, I mean, you know, I'm not sure if it shows.
Well, clearly not ethnic displacement.
Well, of course not ethnic displacement, because homosexuals are not an ethnic group.
No, I mean, like it clearly it will not reduce the population levels. People will. I don't think people will, just suddenly stop producing children and caring for them. It's clearly, I mean,
Well, I
I
mean,
think they'll be responsible with that kind of money and lifestyle.
Yeah. Well, I think, are you talking about like how they're encouraging homosexuality among whites so that they produce
No.
less?
Okay, so this lifestyle makes
Yeah.
you very degenerate.
Oh yeah,
And
of course, yeah.
Yeah. It's all part of the machine.
Well, yeah.
Run by
Well,
East
but
Coast.
even with the heavy marketing and everything, even only a minority are choosing to follow that lifestyle. So I don't think it's as
Well, I mean, there. I guess there was a poll recently done in England or something. Big shock. Apparently, something as high as 33% of Englishmen have like queered off or at some point in their lives, or would like to experiment or some crazy shit like that. So,
well, there was
Shifting.
yeah.
but
Well, I mean, are you talking about bisexuality? I mean, but bisexuality is a phase, you know.
any sexuality aside from heterosexuality is boggable. It's a boggable offense.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
But I mean, the
But
thing is that more. I'm not going to say more liberal places. There are places in America that are just as liberal as over there. But I mean, in places that have been more liberal longer, like England.
Yeah.
I mean, they've and Sweden and places like that. I mean, how Sweden has I'm sure England is the same way, where they have kindergartens where they won't even address the children by gendered pronouns.
Yeah, I've heard that.
And I mean, think about it as a child. I mean, you're gonna have an entire generation of Jaden Smiths, this weird quasi-genderqueer, amorphous blob that doesn't know what the hell is going on because its entire life it was raised as, oh, hey, being gay is cool. Hashtag this free life. Stop smoking the gay way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think the labels.
Like we're trying to turn the hard right into a counterculture. They're trying to a counterculture that young people can get into. They're turning homosexuality into a counterculture that's very beneficial for people to get into. That's the thing about
it is the culture. It is the culture. It's promoting the culture. This is what I find so funny. When I looked up the word counterculture, I thought it was like, the right-wing alternative, but it's always this leftist bullshit. It's
oh yeah, absolutely.
That's what they call the counterculture.
Well,
it just always
it's because
infuriates me.
It's because they can't admit that they're in power because they're the revolutionaries. They're always revolutionizing. They're always subverting. They can't admit that they are in power, and they can't be in power because the only way they could rule seriously, if they are in power and acknowledge that they are, is rule conservatively. Rule in a right-wing fashion. That's why in the Soviet Union and in Maoist China, they legalized homosexuality as soon as they've accomplished the revolution, because they knew that sodomy would just subvert the culture. It would just destroy everything.
Yep.
Yeah. Are you guys familiar with John B. Calhoun? The guy who ran the mouse experiments and about creating what
was it, Universe 25 or something?
I don't know about that. I just know about how he created these mouse utopias or rat utopias, and he showed how.
And it became a metropolitan hellhole.
Yeah, exactly. It's I was just thinking about that, how it said you saw increases in homosexual behavior among them, and they got fat, they stopped reproducing, things like that. So I mean, I think that's kind of similar to what we're talking about with how you have these wealthy people in Beverly Hills and they just become degenerate because there's nothing else for them to do.
Here's a really
And what you just talked about, the same effect is from pornography usage as well, and masturbation. Like those are linked to obesity and low energy and all that good stuff.
You're real low energy, Jeb.
Yeah.
Makes you think.
No, like it's my I'm not gonna say anything.
Yeah, I mean,
No.
Jeb is. Yeah,
Conservatives are
I think
great.
Job. Yeah, I think Jeb looked at a lot of pornography. That's why he's so low energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna make a really mean joke, but I'm not going to. I'm not gonna go there.
No.
You need your imagination. Don't and no speculations on air, please.
Yeah, I sent y'all a link to the
behavioral thing.
Yeah, and that has to do with Universe 25 and what happened when it reached. The rat population had more. It had more rats than it had meaningful social roles. So you ended up with a surplus of warm bodies that didn't have anything productive to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You mean like the college faculty?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of, I was at I just got to go real soon, but I just want to mention this if I can. Are we
okay?
There was a talk the other night at the university that a couple of goys from our crew went to watch, and it was on the rise of angry populism. And I thought, oh, great, I'll get to go and hear, a real academic take on, Trumpism and so forth on populism. And it was so weak. Like part of me knew it would be, but I thought, I'd be challenged. In the old days when I would hear this kind of stuff.
Was the speaker low energy?
There were 4 speakers, all pretty low energy.
Hey.
But I mean, they forgot to.
Everyone is like a Nazi.
They mentioned the economic sector. They mentioned the political sector, but they completely left themselves out of the equation. And these people are, one of the guys is a Turk who's from German, so he's a German Turk, essentially, who's now an academic as a
allegedly.
German. Yeah, in Canada. And he's actually come to our church and given a talk too once before on immigration.
Right, yeah.
And he talks about, to him, like the oracle, like the hill he's going to die on is liberal democracy. He mentioned it many times in this talk the other night, and he mentioned it also at the talk at our church. And they have this idea, and it was sort of like kind of pathetic to watch them trying to hold together something, because they've been so integrated in the power structure, which they didn't acknowledge. They didn't, they're complaining about, why has populism come and how have we failed? One of the biggest responses in populism, or one of the biggest reasons for populism, is a response to weird academic input and weird academic products like all this gender nonsense and the constant, Marxist nonsense about oppressed classes and oppressor classes and so forth.
That, but also the constant push to get people to hate themselves.
Yeah, that's where we're pushing the frontier, not in outer space.
Which is funny.
Into the dark heart of all white people.
Funny because it's counterintuitive. It's schizophrenic because these little kids are raised their entire lives, being told that they were special. You're so special, and then to reach high school or college age and to be told you are a piece of shit and there's nothing you can do about it. Not, hey, if you work hard enough, you can kind of, scrape by, but no, you are by your very nature shit. And there's but part of that, I mean, you could argue that Christianity does the same thing, but it's not the same. When you're told you're shit and nothing you can do, nothing you could ever pray to could ever help you. You're just a scourge upon the earth.
Well, yeah, I mean, liberalism is just Christianity with just original sin. No Christ, no salvation,
no grace.
Total
no grace.
depravity without grace.
It's total depravity without irresistible grace.
Right. There you go.
In reformed terminology.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
I mean, it's no wonder it came out. A lot of this stuff came from the Reformation.
But it is a weird mix between
Shut up, Catholic. you papists.
Careful where you tread.
Come soon, my friend.
Yeah, I'm just playing with you.
So it is a weird toxic mix of self-hate and self-love, though. It's one or the other.
Yeah.
There's no just like calm, normal, aware, responsible behavior. What happened to that?
I mean, really, a lot of where they get their sense of value from is virtue signaling. I mean, it's like if you can, like they don't get a sense of identity or they don't feel good about who they are, what their heritage is. It's like look at me and how well I support the cause.
Yeah.
Like their identity comes from. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, it's also like kind of like pathetic in a way, because regardless of how much you try to atone, like you can't pay the price, because there's no forgiveness. Like all of modernity is based on like there's criminal records and everything like that. And so sorry, I have to go right now. Talk to you later.
Bye.
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 Oh.
That was a
Yeah, that was kind of funny. William, are you saying you need to go too?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, sorry.
I was thinking, well, maybe should we just wrap this up for now? I mean, we've had a pretty good conversation. You guys think we could wrap up now, or?
Yeah, sure. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was good. It was good to have you back. I guess I haven't invited you in a while, but I thought, I haven't had Britton on in a while. I should send him in, but so.
Yeah, I've just got to go do something with my daughter. So.
All right. Well, you can check out if you need to go. I'll just sign off here.
Okay.
Thanks for coming. See you
See you boys later.
Thanks, William.
Bye.
All right.
Are you saying something, Britton?
Yeah. I said, oh, by the way, I have internet at my place now, so
Nice.
I'll have to ride out to the wild blue yonder and just get internet. So.
Okay. That's cool. All right. Well, I'm just going to sign off so we can end the live portion of this. So let me just thank everybody. Thank you to William Scott. Thank you to Sam Heidelberg. Thanks to Bridget Waddles. Thanks to Arthur Wellesley. Thanks, Lightning Patriot. And thanks, Britton. It's been a good conversation. It's a little bit of an interesting one. Thanks for our viewers who are still here. This was definitely all over the place, but it was good, I think. So I had fun. All right. I guess we'll see you in 2 weeks, presumably, unless there's any special hangouts coming. But we'll see about that. Thank you, everyone, and have a good night.
Bye.